Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review the 2024 film Maxxxine. Yes, so this film is directed by Ty West. It's a A24 film, and so the synopsis is: in 1980s Hollywood, adult film star and aspiring actress Maxxxine Minx finally gets her big break. However, as a mysterious killer stalks the streets of Los Angeles, a trail of blood threatens to reveal her sinister past. This stars Mia Goth, Halsey, Lily Collins, Elizabeth Debicki, Kevin Bacon, Moses Sumney, and Giancarlo Esposito, aka Bugging Out. Okay, and so for one, it's good to be back. There's been a lot of changes. I've moved again, but I moved to another state. I moved out of Atlanta to another state and got a new job. So I wanted to review this because, and I wanted to watch it as well because I have seen Pearl and X. Check out those reviews. I did do reviews for those on this channel, and so I was excited for Maxxxine. And unpopular opinion, this was my favorite film out of the series. I mean, I'll get into it in a second, but it was actually my favorite. And I mean, to be frank, I didn't really like the other two. Now that I think about it, I think in general I just like the aesthetic, but I didn't really like the story. But for some reason I like this one. This was my favorite one. So around here I like to start with my cons and then go into my pros and then my overall thoughts and then my rating for the film. So to start with my cons, I think in general I would say compared to the other two films, this film was a little too on the nose with the message as far as what was going on in the 80s, as far as the church and politicians exaggerating and kind of fear mongering when it came to pop culture and just othering people, and because certain people didn't fit the stereotype of like a evangelical Christian or whatever, they were seen as devil worshippers, and of course an adult film star was seen as the worst. So I just think it was on the nose, and then of course I've seen other shows and films tackle this, so it's getting a little cliche, even though it was real at the time. Something about it was just a little too like, okay, I get what's going on here. Versus Pearl, I think, dived a little deeper into just a totally different topic, but this was a little on the nose. I also didn't like the accents. I was just Kevin Bacon's accent, and then Kevin Bacon's character's accent, and then Halsey's accent. I was just like, what is going on here? And then of course a certain, just in some of the acting from a certain character who was revealed at the end was just so over the top to me, and just the acting was just too much. So I would say in general that was my biggest issue. That's what I would say. But overall, my pros, I do have more pros. I just think in general, like I said, I do like the aesthetic, and I'm not a huge 80s fan or a huge horror fan, but I did really love just the color grading and just the darkness of a lot of the scenes, but paired with the lighting as well. I really like the lighting, like in the video store, as well as the wardrobe. I thought Mia Goth looked incredible. Her hair, I just love her overall look in this film. Like, I had to almost like question if she really had, like, it's almost like, I guess, like a birthmark on her face. I think that just looks really good on her, with the hair and the outfit. She looked good. I think she's a great actor as well. I thought the acting across, well, I would say with Mia, her friend from the video store, and Kevin Bacon. What the hell was on Bugging Out's head? Like, what was that? I just thought about that. His wig looked a hot mess. And I feel like I've said this before, I'm not a big gore fan. I can't do it. That's why I think I'm not a huge horror fan, because I don't like jump scares. I don't like people being unalived, and I don't like gore. But I felt like in this film, it was to me, it was amazing. Just the special effects and just the way it was filmed. It looked really good to me. I'm just not a huge gore fan, but I thought that they handled it well in this film. Another thing, even though it was exaggerated a bit, seeing the parallels between some people in the church and what they accuse others of doing, like the darkness or the darker activities that they accuse others of doing and them doing it as well. I guess it was a small part of the film, but the parallels between Hollywood and the adult film industry, just in that first part of her auditioning, I thought that was interesting as well, because I think obviously it, to an extent, they're two different worlds, but they still have similarities, and I thought that was interesting how sometimes they like cross paths, some of the aspects of both of the industries cross path, especially with her. I didn't write this down, but I'm glad I remembered it. I liked some of the quotes from the director of the film, within the film. Again, it was a little bit on the nose, but there were two things she said. One was, it's so easy to lead angry people. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, that angry people are able to lead, and I do think that that's true. She made a quote, another quote that the director said, it's not verbatim, but they were riding through the lot, and it's like, you see the props and the setups and it looks like a real place, but then they drive around and it's flat, it's too deep. She says something along the lines of the illusion of Hollywood, like this all looks real on film, but it's all fake, so I just felt like she was kind of dropping little gems here and there. Another on the nose moment was the blood on the hands. It's like, oh, now we all have blood on our hands. I thought it was just like, oh, I get it, but it's a little too much. So yeah, just in general, I don't know why I liked this film more than the others. Maybe because it was easier to digest. For one, I would say X, I guess after watching Pearl, you understand a bit about the couple, but while you're watching it, you're just like, why are they doing this? I guess sometimes when I watch films, it just feels like, okay, these people are unaliving people, and there's like, what is the reason for you doing this? It just feels like there's no like reason. Like, what was the reason for you killing all these people in this film? I just was like, what's going on? I think that's why I wasn't into X as much, because I didn't understand the reasoning behind them killing these unaliving these young people. And then even when I get to Pearl, I'm just kind of like, I think like I said in my review, I didn't really empathize with Pearl, and I don't know if that was the point of the film. I don't think because I do feel like some people do empathize with her, and I guess, obviously she's in an unfortunate situation, but so is the rest of her family. So I just, in a way, I don't think that I could connect to her, because it's like, I get it, you've been put in this horrible situation, and you want to be bigger than what you are, you want to have another life, but unaliving people, I'm just kind of like, okay, what's going on here? And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, because I do think the good thing about Pearl is that there are people like that, and I know sometimes when we're watching films we get caught up in, well, I want to like this person. It's just like, you're not gonna like everybody, so just watch the film. But I do feel like Pearl as a story was a little bit deep, was definitely deeper than X, and was deeper than Maxxxine. I think Maxxxine just kind of got to the point of she wants to make it in Hollywood, and then as well as the fear-mongering that was going on in the culture in America at that time, that affecting her career, and then her also feeling like she needed to help the help in the situation that was going on, which I didn't really like that. I'm just like, I get it that you don't want people to go through this, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? That's y'all's job. Don't put that burden on me. Do not put that burden on me, So when that was when that situation was pushed onto her, I was just like, that's a lot for somebody to go through, especially since these aren't her friends. She just met these people. She may have known the guy from the video store, but they're not her friends. And I'm not saying that she should be okay with them being unalived, but at the same time, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to protect myself. So one thing that I thought of after filming the review that I forgot to speak about was also Maxxine possibly feeling guilt throughout the film because, one, she survived the massacre in X and all the people around her had, passed or were unalived, and then she gets to LA and the same thing happens to the people around her. And even though at the end of the day it's not her fault, she could have stopped it earlier if she would have met with the person who wanted to meet her. The investigators brought that up, even though, again, I still stand by the fact that the burden shouldn't have been put on her to save the people around her. That's up to the cops and the investigators or whoever. But I do think that was an aspect of the film as far as her feeling guilty of the people around her being unalived. And then her basically, one, the massacre also making her very cold, and then as well as her running from her past. The chaos didn't end until she confronted her past. So overall, I just think the films are great as far as the aesthetic and the acting, especially from Mia Goth. The music is always great as well. I just love the world building of these films. Not as much the story, not so much, but this was probably my favorite one. I probably wouldn't watch it again because, like I said, I don't like gore like that, and the gore in this was very extreme to me. And I think this would be good for people who are fans, really fans, big fans of horror films and 80s films and that whole look and feel. And so the rating I would give this film, I'm trying to think what I gave the other two films, because it can't be lower. I'm going to give Maxxine an 8 out of 10. So yes, if you've seen this film, leave some comments below if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Which film is your favorite in the X series? That's what it's called, X series. Was it predictable to you? I know I reacted to the trailer, and so I said something about, I guess that she may have been the person who was going around unaliving people, but she wasn't. And that was a real person. That was based on a person in real life. But yeah, tell me your thoughts below. I'm open to suggestions of some videos or some reactions for TV shows. I don't know if I want to react to some films. I tried it once and it just took forever to do. I was like, I don't understand how people do this. But I might try some TV shows, maybe some anime series, and then, like I said, some videos, just my time in Atlanta, maybe some of my favorite places I would suggest, as well as just moving so much. At this point, I've moved 50 million times. I'm so used to moving. I just know everything compared to when I first looked for my first apartment to now being in my 6th apartment. And then moving, this will be my second time moving to another state. So thank you for watching. Thank you to the people who have been following me for a while. If new followers, people who comment and always engage. And so I really appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to my next video. Thanks for watching.